To do something just a little out of order. Councilman Contract is stuck in traffic. So we're not going to call the meeting officially to order, but we can get on with the swearing-ins and so forth, and hopefully he'll be here by the time we have a full dais up here. So with that, we're going to move right to the invocation, and I'd like to thank and welcome Rabbi Ethan Presnett to welcome us tonight.
Please rise. We come together this evening in community, a town community that is strong, that is vibrant, that is diverse, that is eclectic, and that is engaged. A community that is sometimes pained by the vile rhetoric of others and the hateful acts of a few. A community that stands together in moments of celebration, like tonight, and also in support of those in challenging times. A town community that honors the past, but also dreams for the future. As we come together, we ask your blessing on the people who have been called to lead the community in which we live, work, and play. Grant them the wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May they speak out when it is time to speak out, and listen patiently and receptively when it is time to listen. Remind them, because we all forget from time to time, especially in the noisiness of what passes for political debate today, that they are not only leaders, but they also have responsibilities to serve the common good of all. May they always be guided by the spirit of community, by the spirit of justice, by the spirit of love. As we come together, we ask for the blessings on the citizens of this town. May we remember that our town elected officials are volunteers, and while we may sometimes have differing opinions, we must understand that they too want the best for the town that they live in. May we volunteer to give back to our community, role modeling the work of our mayor and our town council, fighting for the most vulnerable in our midst, and opening our hearts by the spirit of community, justice, and love. We pray in the name of all that we hold sacred and holy, all that we hold good and right and true. With your guidance, with our elected leadership, and with all those dedicated residents of our town, we come together in this sacred moment to honor our past and rejoice in our future. And together we say, Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. So before we get to the important event of the evening in terms of swearing in, I do want to acknowledge we have a lot of officials here this evening, and I do want to thank them for being here. And we're just trying to figure out who is in the audience, so if I miss anyone, my apologies. I'd first like to welcome and say thanks to Congressman Tom Kaine, who I think is doing some of the swearing-in duties tonight. Senator John Bramnick, and Assemblywoman Michelle Mascudas and Nancy Munoz. I said former Mayor Andy Skibitsky, he's somewhere. Oh, there he is. And lots of former council persons, so my apologies if we didn't get everybody, but Peter Eshaw, Mark Lagrippo, Judge Jim Healy, Rafael Betancourt, Sam Della Fera, Kevin Walsh, and Joanne Nalen. Thank you for being here this evening. So I think we are going to the official duties of the swearing in, beginning with Councilman-elect Todd Saunders, being sworn in by Congressman Tom Kaine. So if you want to approach the dais.
I, Todd Saunders,
I, Todd Saunders,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
all
all duties of the office of Town Council Member
duties of the office of the Town Council Member
according to the best of my abilities and understanding.
according to the best of my abilities and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you.
So next, we have Councilman-elect from the Second Ward, Michael Armento.
I state your name.
I, Michael Armento,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
perform
all duties
all
of
duties
the office of Town Council Member
of the office of Town Council Member
according to the best of my abilities and understanding.
according to the best of my abilities and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Okay, next up, we have Ward 3, Councilman-elect Michael Demagala.
Ready? Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I
I,
state your name.
Michael Domagala,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all duties
all duties
of the office of Town Council Member
of the office of Town Council Member
according to the best of my abilities and understanding.
according to the best of my abilities and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Okay, and last but certainly not least is Ward 4 Councilman-elect David Keeper, and he is being sworn in by the Honorable James Smith.
I, Dave Kiefer,
I, David Kiefer,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and justly perform all duties of the office of town councilman,
and justly perform all duties of town council member
according to the best of my abilities and understanding.
according to the best of my abilities and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, can I call the meeting to order now that we have a quorum? What's that? The Public Meetings Act, right? We're good, okay. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program, now that we have a quorum up here. Welcome to the reorganization meeting of the Westfield Town Council of January 2nd, 2024 at 6 p.m. for the purpose of organizing for the year 2024 and transacting such other business as may properly come before the mayor and town council. On December 12th, 2023, notice of this meeting was provided to the Westfield Leader and Star Ledger, posted on the Municipal Building Bulletin Board and filed in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. So with that, we've done some of the other duties. I just want to say, first of all, thank you for everybody for joining us this evening, in particular all the former elected officials and current elected officials who are here this evening. I do want to thank a special thanks to Rabbi Prosnit from Temple Emmanuel for that invocation. It really is a privilege to be here along with my fellow council members, new and old. Not old really, but you know, both returning to new to serve this wonderful community. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to gather here tonight to reflect on what we accomplished in 2023, share our goals for 2024, or appoint the many volunteers to our various boards and commissions, and reorganize this council for the exciting work that lies ahead. But first, I would like to extend my personal congratulations to our newly elected and sworn-in town council members, Todd Saunders, Michael Armento, Mike Domagala, and David Kiefer, who joined us tonight for the first time on this dais. And of course, I'd like to reiterate my deep gratitude to returning council members Linda Hapgood, Mike Dardia, David Contract, and Don Mackey for their unwavering dedication. It's also very important to give final thanks to our outgoing council members, Emily Root, Mark Parmalee, and Mark LaGrippo, who's here tonight, and Scott Katz for their leadership and many contributions over the course of their terms. As we reflect on the success of last year and the tremendous opportunities that lie ahead this year, none of it would be possible without the incredible efforts and dedication of our town employees who serve our residents 365 days a year. I mean, one of the privileges about being in elected office, and I think hopefully these guys have already gotten a glimpse to it, is to really the appreciation of what you see behind the scenes and the work and commitment of our employees. There are too many to name, but I do want to thank the department heads in particular who lead these highly talented and dedicated teams of professionals who excel in their fields. And so on behalf of the entire council, I do want to thank Police Chief Badalora, Fire Chief Delks, our newly retired Public Works Director Greg O'Neill, Town Clerk Maureen Lawshe, Assistant Town Administrator Heather Ray, Town Attorney and former Mayor, as I like to remind people, Tom Jardim, Town Planner Don Samet, Recreation Director Megan Schaffer, newly hired town engineer Mike McNell, Construction Official Frank Buoso, Library Director Alan McGinley, our Public Information Officer Kim Ford, and Regional Health Director Megan Avalone. And of course, you all know by now, we owe our deep thanks and gratitude to Town Administrator Jim Gilday, who's been serving this town for well over 20 years, whose unwavering leadership and long-standing commitment to the town serves as a beacon for all of our employees. And I, for one, have been very inspired by his leadership. For those that have worked with Jim on both sides of the aisle, you will see there isn't a single situation that he can't manage with his calm and informed demeanor, backed by years of valuable and diverse municipal experience. My running joke with Jim on his tombstone is going to say, "No big deal." I said, the day Jim tells me something's a big deal, we all have to worry. He is widely regarded as one of the best administrators in the state, and we are very grateful every day, and I hope our residents realize how fortunate we have for someone of his experience and commitment serving us all. Before we appoint the 2024 volunteer members of our boards and commissions, I would like to thank particularly two volunteers whose terms are complete and have had long-standing contributions to the town. Chris Mascielli has served an incredible 20 years on the Board of Adjustment, and if any of you have been to a Board of Adjustment meeting, you understand what a feat that is. And Kelly Kessler has just completed 16 years on the Historic Preservation Commission. So folks that have volunteered that much time and energy to these or other boards know that these require a deep commitment, and we're very grateful to Chris and Kelly and so many others who give of their time and talents for the betterment of Westfield. Welcome, Council. No, you're good. And likely, I think we want to thank all of our families. I know my own, especially my husband Kip, for their ongoing support of our volunteer service. None of us could do this without them. And so now we're going to move on to tonight's business and appointments, which I will follow with additional remarks in my State of the Town address. So I now call this meeting to order. Ms. Washi, may I have a roll call?
Mayor Brindle,
Here.
council members Haggood,
Here.
Dardia,
Here.
Domagala,
Here.
Kiefer,
Here.
Saunders, Armento, Contract,
Here.
Mackey.
That was good timing, Councilman.
That's right. Mayor, I just want to remind everybody, since we have 4 members of the council that are new, hit your button on your microphone, and that's when the light's red. I know it seems counterintuitive, but light's red, that means it's on. So when you're going to vote on something or say something, make sure the light's on. Thanks.
So I will now propose the acting and alternate acting mayor appointments for the year 2024. Acting Mayor Dawn Mackey, alternate acting mayor Linda Hapgood. May I have a motion to accept these appointments?
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Contract. Second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Dardia. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. I will now name council appointments. All of the following appointments will be through December 31st of the stated year. Planning Board Liaison, Michael Dardia, Class 3, 2024. Board of Adjustment, Michael Cohen, 2027. Jessica Giorgiani, 2027. David Becca, alternate number 2, 2025. Special Improvement District Board, Aaron Benhayan, Resident Director, 2025, filling an unexpired term. Lauren Bieber, Resident Director, 2026. A.J. Kami, Owner Director, 2026. Anthony DiTomaso, Owner Director, 2026. Michael Laplace, Resident Director, 2026. Linda Hapgood, Council Designee, 2024. Craig Gibson, Ex Officio, the Administrator's Designee, 2024. And Liz Jeffrey, Ex Officio, the Mayor's Designee, 2024. May I have a motion to accept council appointments? So moved by Councilman Mackey, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dardia. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes. Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. The following are proposed employee appointments. Resolution to appoint town engineer, 2026. Resolution to appoint municipal prosecutor, 2024. Resolution to appoint public defender, 2024. May I have a motion to accept employee appointments?
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Contract. Second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hapgood. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. I will now propose board appointments. Board of Health, Tara Donnelly, 2027. Geralda Xavier, MD, 2027. Alexandria Backert, alternate number 1, 2025. Council Liaison, Michael Armento, 2024. Recreation Commission, Andrew Bronstein, 2026. Elizabeth Chaco, 2026. Tamika Dixon, 2026. Council Liaison, David Kiefer, 2024. Historic Preservation Commission, Greg Blasey, Class A, 2027. Christopher DeFreitas, 2025, filling an unexpired term, Class C. Mary Ellen McVeigh, Class B, 2027. Greg Talmont, Class A, 2027. Carol Tenner, Class B, Historian, 2027. Cheryl Katz, alternate number 1, 2025. Meredith Bridge, alternate number 2, 2024, filling an unexpired term. Council Liaison, Michael Domagala, 2024. The Tree Preservation Commission, Troy Conover, 2026. Laura Kenny Kent, 2026. Manette Scheininger, 2026. Council Liaison, David Kiefer, 2024. Memorial Library Board, Mallory Saltzman, 2028. Council Liaison, Michael Domagala, 2024. Westfield Housing Commission, all of these are 24. John O'Brien, Sasha Nisbet, Paul Marcatulio, Carna Garrett Sistera, Don Samet, ex officio member, Frank Ruoso, ex officio member. Public Arts Commission, Kiana Lawrence, Class 2, Mayor Designee, 2024. Samantha Mooney, Class 5, Resident, 2025. Ryan Spector, Class 3, Town Historian Designee, 2024. Marley Keller, alternate number 1, 2025. Lisa Vietes, alternate number 2, 2025. Dawn Mackey, Class 1 Town Council Rep, 2024. Human Relations Advisory Commission, Jessica Jacobson, 2026. Dawn Nicole Manning, 2026. Rami Sarabi, alternate number 1, 2025. Allison Cohen, alternate number 2, 2025. Council Liaison Linda Hapgood, 2024. Mental Health Council, James Catalana, resident, 2025. Lauren Kaplan-Sagel, MD, medical mental health professional, 2025. Allison Lemberg-Markall, resident, 2025. Laura Stinchcomb, resident, 2024. Dryden Watner, resident, 2025. Caroline Angel, alternate number 1, 2024. Rachel Christensen, alternate number 2, 2025. Roseanne Peasy, Mayor's Representative, 2025. Council Liaison, Michael Armento, 2024. The Bicycle Board, Nicholas Bonikowski, resident, all of these are 24. Holly Hartford, resident. Douglas McNeil, resident. Paul Persiani, resident. Council Liaison, Michael Dardia. May I have a motion to accept these board appointments?
Make a motion.
So moved. Second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Dardia. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes. Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. I will now read mayoral appointments and council liaisons. Planning Board, Matthew Saberio, Class 4, 2027. Ann Friedman, alternate number 2, 2025. I'm serving as myself as the mayor's designee through the end of the year. Michael Delks, Class 2, 2024. Solid Waste Advisory Board, Jeff Brick, 2024. Union County Transportation Advisory Board, David McAllister and Brendan Mooney through 2024. Union County Air Traffic Advisory Board, Jerome Vetter, 2025, Daniel Lorenzo, alternate, 2025. Union County Community Development Revenue Sharing Committee, Peter Vietes, 2024, Maureen Tynan, 2024. The Chamber of Commerce Liaison is Councilman Todd Saunders. I'm the liaison to the Union County League of Municipalities. I'm the liaison to the Board of Education. Councilwoman Linda Hapgood is the liaison to the Westfield Senior Housing Corporation, and our Adams Fest liaison, of course, is Councilwoman Dawn Mackey. The council committees are the following. Finance Policy Committee, Linda Hapgood, Chairwoman, David Contract, Vice Chair, Michael Domagala, and David Kiefer. The Code Review and Town Property Committee, David Contract, Chairman, Dawn Mackey, Vice Chair, Michael Armento, and David Kiefer. Public Safety, Transportation, and Parking Committee, Michael Dardia, Chairman, Linda Hapgood, Vice Chair, Michael Domagala, and Todd Saunders. The Public Works Committee, Dawn Mackey, Chairwoman, Michael Dardia, Vice Chair, Todd Saunders, and Michael Armento. Thank you all very much for all the volunteers who are here. Are any of them in the audience? If you're serving on any of these boards, can you stand up and let us recognize you? Thank you so much for your service to the town. It's a lot of effort, but it's amazing what we've done together. So I now have the privilege, I'm sorry you're hearing a lot from me tonight. I have the privilege of delivering the 2024 State of the Town Address. First and foremost, and very importantly, I'm happy and proud to report that the state of our town continues to be exceptionally strong. Westfield has never been better positioned for sustainable long-term success. I am proud of the significant accomplishments this council made on many fronts this past year, which I hope you had a chance to review in my update last week. These accomplishments include a historically low tax rate, major investments in public safety, ordinances addressing stormwater runoff, historic preservation, pedestrian and traffic safety, progress on our affordable housing obligations, including housing for at-risk veterans, and laying the groundwork for an exciting future for our downtown that will ensure a vibrant, safe, and affordable community for future generations. If you missed my update, you can refer to the website and you can see the extensive list of 2023 accomplishments. And I do want to say once again, none of this progress would be possible without the dedication, enduring commitment, and resiliency of all those who make our work possible. Our town employees, the resident volunteers we just mentioned, and our business community and partners. I do want to recognize all of you and just extremely express my gratitude for our partnership and our shared vision. But before I move on to the specific goals for 2024, I would like to officially welcome once again our new council members and reiterate that we are committed to collegially working together in the best interest of Westfield, just as we have always done, including during the first 2 years of our tenure when the council makeup was the exact same as it is tonight. We will continue to provide multiple opportunities for ongoing input on the issues that residents seem to care the most about, namely redevelopment, field solutions, and public safety, which I'll discuss in detail as I discuss our goals. So turning to 2024, I do want to reiterate the key objectives that have served as the foundation for me and my 4 long-term colleagues up here on the dais. 6 years, I think, we've spent together now. Priorities that we hope will also be supported by our new council colleagues in the spirit of collaboration. Since 2018, our consistent objectives have been to maintain exceptional fiscal oversight, prioritize public safety, expand town parks and recreation offerings for residents of all ages and abilities, champion quality of life issues, increase resident engagement, and continue to foster a culture of inclusivity, and responsibly manage development and advance downtown revitalization initiatives. So first, in addressing exceptional fiscal oversight, I'd like to think that our record speaks for itself. Our goal for '24 is to continue to seek new sources of revenue and operating efficiencies to lessen our reliance on residential property taxes to balance the budget. I know I've said it before, but Westfield is in Union County is the municipality that has the largest reliance on residential property taxes at 93% to support. And so we obviously want to diversify that. We are going to continue to conservatively manage our debt levels while maintaining surplus and saving levels that enable our AAA bond rating, and leveraging development revenue to accelerate town capital projects and ultimately school district priorities without further taxing our residents. We're going to continue to prioritize public safety. For the past 2 years, our main objectives have been to address and reduce the number of auto thefts and related home break-ins in Westfield, as well as improve traffic and pedestrian safety. To that end, we are accelerating the immediate purchase of 10 additional license plate readers to supplement the 15 LPRs that we installed in 2023, and which have proven to be a critically important tool in deterring auto theft. We are doubling down on what we need to do to stay ahead of these criminals. We will be accelerating our investment in substantial pedestrian safety improvements, including the installation of pedestrian-activated beacon lights at Boulevard and Grove in the next few weeks, with others to follow at known problem intersections. We'll be initiating a Safe Roads for All public safety plan with your input, funded by a recently awarded $100,000 US DOT grant, which will incorporate a Vision Zero component with a goal to eliminate pedestrian accidents. We'll be developing a high-visibility education campaign to reduce distracted driving and speeding, and introducing a neighborhood street lighting initiative with the goal of addressing all street light outages with PSE&G by July 1st, and identifying pedestrian crossings where enhanced lighting is needed. Longer term, we are committed to sustaining the highest police department staffing levels in town history and the highest fire department staffing levels in 17 years after recently restoring 9-person shifts. We are proceeding with plans that began in 2015 to construct a new main firehouse on Central Avenue, where our Westfield Fire Department can operate most effectively, paid for with a combination of grants, pilot revenues, and bonds. We will look to improve our long-standing pedestrian and traffic safety conditions for the 11 intersections related to 1 Westfield Place, as well as on Prospect Street related to the Sophia that are enabled and funded by developer revenue. On the parks and recreation front, I don't think it's no surprise that many of us were disappointed in the outcome of the Edison Fields referendum and its inability to not deliver a solution for the Westfield High School athletes and marching band. But the fact remains that we still have a critical field shortage. So that said, we are moving ahead with the following next steps in our town-wide field improvement plans. Establishing a new working committee to devise a recreation plan for Tamaulipas Park, comprised of representatives from the Recreation Commission, sports leagues, Lifelong Westfield, and Tamaulipas neighbors, in order to fully inform decisions around parking, safety, access, amenities, circulation, and lighting, including assessing the potential for permanent relocation of the Westfield ice rink and additional field improvements. We'll be implementing significant improvements to the Houlihan Sidfay Field Complex, which has already been approved, including additional parking, restrooms, security lighting, and ADA compliance to be completed this year, largely funded by revenue from the recently approved cell tower being installed in the Conservation Center. We are continuing discussions with the Board of Ed about consolidating all of our field and parks maintenance among the town and school districts' parks and fields. Under a new DPW director following the recent retirement of Greg O'Neill, the department will be reorganized to allow for more dedicated parks and field resources. The school district and Westfield taxpayers will mutually benefit from the centralized and efficient approach that can be achieved through economies of scale. And this approach will also enable greater attention to general park cleanup, such as bathrooms and trash pickup, improved markers, trail maintenance, and the like. We will be replacing playground equipment and resurfacing tennis courts at Memorial Park, and ongoing improvements to Brightwood Park and Mindawaskin Park in partnership with Friends of Brightwood and Friends of Mindawaskin. And there's several quality of life issues I know that matter to everyone, and one of them is road paving. So this year we anticipate paving approximately 15 miles of roads as part of our innovative paving program. By the end of '26, approximately 80% of the town's roads will be repaved in only 8 years, and 50% of the paving costs will have been paid for by the utility companies. And I am the co-chair of the Raritan Valley Line Mayors Alliance, and we have been on a bit of a pause since COVID, but we are now going to be accelerating the work of our alliance to advocate for additional one-seat ride service in New York City now that post-COVID ridership numbers have stabilized. We'll be finalizing the redevelopment agreement for the American Legion project, which will provide 22 housing units for at-risk veterans, with anticipating groundbreaking in 2025. And supporting additional initiatives such as the stormwater management work of the Westfield Infrastructure Resiliency Committee, strengthening our tree preservation ordinance, completing the update to the Historic Preservation Master Plan, and embracing our new agreement with the Westfield Senior Housing Corporation to increase support and services for our senior community. We're going to continue to foster resident engagement and a culture of inclusivity by increasing opportunities for resident input through public surveys and outreach, particularly related to areas such as recreation, community spaces for 1 Westfield Place, downtown events, and pedestrian safety. We'll be expanding the visibility of the Human Relations Advisory Commission, which is more important than ever, to promote inclusivity, celebrate diversity, and forcefully denounce racism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and hate of any kind. We'll be supporting and expanding initiatives and events that celebrate and unite our community, including Adams Fest, March to Yorktown Day, public art, and DWC events such as the popular Sweet Sounds, Open Quimby, holiday events, and more. And prioritizing mental health awareness and education initiatives through the Mental Health Council, which has just been gaining traction in the last year or two. And lastly, and probably most significantly, We're going to continue to proactively manage and support responsible development that not only advances our court-ordered affordable housing obligations, but also revitalizes our downtown economy. It's no secret that development is top of mind for many of our residents, as it is in communities all over Union County and the entire state, as inclusionary housing projects are being constructed. You see them cropping up everywhere. In Westfield, affordable housing obligations and downtown revitalization efforts continue to be the two factors driving development in our community. So let me just address affordable housing for a minute, because it's very important context when we talk about our goals. Much of the apartment buildings that you see under construction are a direct result of our 2017 court-ordered affordable housing settlement and are just now coming to fruition. It was done under the leadership of Mayor Andy Skibitsky, and I've commended them for, I thought, what was a very good and fair settlement. The resulting obligations from that settlement require that these projects, and many that will be proposed in the future, are considered as of right and must be approved or subject the town to costly and risky litigation. As such, our commitment to you as elected officials is to ensure that these state-mandated projects deliver the best possible outcome for our residents. So this administration over the last few years has strategically leveraged state redevelopment law and selective pilot arrangements so that we have control to extract maximum public benefits from these projects, a voice in what the buildings look like, how circulation issues will be addressed, and how the developer can invest in Westfield at large. As an example, Westfield Crossing on South Avenue, our largest inclusionary project, is opening its first phase this spring and is a prime example of leveraging redevelopment tools and a pilot agreement for the first time to deliver a better project and exciting public benefits. I'm happy to announce that their retail spaces have already been leased, fully leased, in this first phase, and the public plaza that the developer is creating and deeding to the town is expected to be completed by the end of this year. And 2 of the 3 North Avenue projects near my home should be completed and occupied by the summertime. And as a neighbor who's in front of them every day, I'm actually looking forward to the new sidewalk, landscaping, streetscape, and lighting upgrades that these developers are delivering to what has been a historically industrial and blighted area of North Avenue. So the other component driving development is our downtown revitalization efforts. In 2018, shortly after I was elected, along with my 4 compatriots here, we committed to taking on the difficult challenge of finding holistic solutions that would support our local businesses for the long term by expanding and diversifying our downtown economy. Now, if I could just take you back a few years, the vacancy rate downtown was pretty atrocious, and it's quite amazing what's happened in a few years' time. And the idea was, but we didn't want short-term solutions that were just beckoned to the whim of the economy and fickle consumers. So we wanted to be able to have a long-term solution while also addressing other challenges related to the diversity of housing stock, traffic congestion, parking, and infrastructure. We also saw opportunities to diversify and expand ratables so that we could stabilize property taxes, related back to what I communicated earlier, that 94% of our taxes are on the backs of single-family residents, highest in Union County. So all of these objectives have been met in the award-winning One Westfield Place redevelopment plan approved by this council last March and guided by a first-class team of experts. So tonight, I just want to provide everyone with an update on the project's next steps. So HBC Streetworks Development will be going before the Planning Board for site plan approval in the first quarter. Well, they will be providing updated renderings and architectural details, allowing the public to get more detailed information and to provide public comment. We also anticipate an announcement about commercial tenants in their buildings later this year. This momentum is enabling us to announce tonight that we plan to accelerate the One Westfield Place public improvements timeline and aim to break ground on renovations to Quimby Street later this year. While Open Quimby has proven to be enormously popular, the concrete barriers restricting car traffic for events doesn't allow for the flexibility to restore parking for our Quimby Street merchants during off-peak periods. The planned Quimby Street improvements will address these concerns by creating a permanent one-way flexible festival street and will accomplish the following. It will fully restore on-street parking year-round. It will allow flexibility for the street to be open and closed easily with electronic bollards replacing concrete barriers. It will provide beautiful streetscapes with large trees, cafe lighting, upgraded sidewalks, and street pavers. It will ensure accessible locations for loading, food delivery, and service parking, upgrade the underground infrastructure and drainage, and will enhance and expand outdoor dining for all Quimby Street restaurants and cafes. So the town, the DWC, and Streetworks will be co-hosting an information feedback session for Quimby Street property owners and merchants in the next few weeks, and details and renderings will be shared with the public after these stakeholders have weighed in. Additionally, planning for the public spaces on the north and south sides of the train station is well underway, and we'll be asking for your input on the programming of these spaces in the next few months. I'd like to thank the many residents and business owners who have expressed their ongoing support for our vision, and similarly, express gratitude to those who have voiced concerns regarding aspects of One Westfield Place. It has ultimately helped guide positive revisions, and I think you always end up in a better place when you hear critical feedback. I am optimistic that as more details of the plan are revealed, that many of the concerns will be assuaged. We remain committed to keeping an open dialogue with the entire community and ask for your participation as we continue to solicit public feedback. So in closing, I think I can speak for the entire town council as we reiterate our commitment to not only achieving these stated objectives for 2024 and beyond, but to inclusive and civil public discourse. By working together, we can continue to achieve great things for this town that we're all privileged to call home. Tonight, I'm proud to affirm the strength and vitality of Westfield, thanks to our residents, volunteers, employees, and elected officials working together to make it so. God bless our great community and country, and may 2024 bring health, happiness, and good fortune to you and your family. Happy New Year to all, everybody. So with that, let's see, I lost my place here. We're on to, I think, public comment, right? Yes, here we go. Now it's time for open discussion by citizens. Anyone may come up to the microphone and speak to the council on any subject on which we have jurisdiction. Please state your name and address for the record, and please limit your comments to 5 minutes. Okay, I think people want to go out celebrating. It looks like. Okay, with that, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry about that.
Good evening. My name is Michael Blancato. I live at 18 Carroll Road, Westfield, New Jersey. So congratulations to all the new appointees. I heard you several times in the last few minutes talking about how you're accelerating the current project. If you would have lost one seat, I would have agreed with the things you just said. If you lost 2 seats, I would start to say, you know what, there's people in the town that don't really like the way we're going, but you still did. If you'd have lost 3 votes, I would have said most of the people in town do not like the direction that you're going. If you'd have lost 4, it means the town really has sent you a clear message that this is not the direction we want. Instead of accelerating, we should be slowing down. You lost 5. When you talk about the Edison Field, you lost 5. You went 0 for 5. Mayor, I've come up here and I got cut short every single time because you said I brought all kinds of facts in. I was going over my time to the point where I stopped coming to town council meetings. This is the first time I'm back. You know why? Because I have hope. I have hope that the new 4 council members will listen to the people in town. Because for the last 15 minutes, we're talking about the direction you want to go in, not the direction that the people of this town want to go in. So please listen, open up your ears and actively listen and slow down. I'm also worried about the Rialto. I understand that there was funding there. I have a feeling that within the next couple of years, somebody's going to take that over, and that's going to get developed. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was Hudson Bay or somebody else. Years ago, Rialto was a great movie theater. There's still plenty of towns that have movie theaters. We lost ours, and there hasn't been a lot done there. I thought it was really cool that community events would be happening there. But I am really concerned about that moving forward. So I hope that what you just said was that you're gonna have all these proposals, but this time, listen, and hopefully, instead of accelerating, slow down. Thank you.
He did, Carol.
Good evening. Frank Fusaro, 422 Stanley Avenue in Westfield. I want to first of all congratulate the newly elected council members. Welcome to the council. We look forward to your input and hopefully your continued many years of service. I just want to ask the mayor and council one quick question, and I'll let you move on since I'm sure you're very busy. If at all possible, can you please provide us with an update on the status, location, and exactly where we stand with the new firehouse that will be needed once the old firehouse is designated as a community center or whatever the plan is for right now. So if you could please provide that information, both as to location, timeline, and approximate cost, if you don't mind. Thank you and have a good evening.
Susan Goodman, 322 Arenda Circle. I just want to say, finally, I begin to see some common sense on this council. And I hope that you, Mayor, and existing council members that have been on here will begin to listen to the common sense of the 4 new council members. They are bringing the majority residents' ideas to your council and to this town. So please, stop thinking about yourself and patting yourself on the back and listen to what the town people want for our town. And keep it a small, sweet town and not destroy it. Because once you start that, it will snowball and we will never be the same. And you will get up and leave, and you will leave us here to deal with the mess. So think sensibly, because now we do have some common sense. And I have maybe a glimmer of hope that we will begin to be the town that we all moved here for.
Anybody else? Hearing none, I close this portion of the meeting. I don't know, Jim, do you want to address the firehouse question?
In reference to the firehouse, I think you mentioned in your discussion or your state of the town tonight, we have been working on plans at the second firehouse on Central Avenue. As you know, we have property there we own beyond the firehouse itself. We're actually started last year actively seeking to purchase the one single-family home property that's on the corner there, which we've been trying for some years, and that will allow us to begin potentially renovating that property to become the future headquarters of the fire department. Just to, I guess, put things in perspective, the goal, I guess, would be that the current headquarters, which is downtown on North Avenue, would be something that could be leased out by the town in the future when the north side parking lot penetration becomes a public plaza. We are still years away from that. So to Mr. Fasaro's question, there's no details of cost at this point or timeline, but we are proceeding with the Central Avenue location as a place to actually renovate and make that into our fire headquarters, and looking at other places to have a satellite firehouse, but that's still years away.
Thank you. And to Mr. Blancato, the Rialto, actually, we have a board member right here, so I don't know, Councilman Mackey, if you want to address that? Yes. And I'm sorry, I just want to be clear. The town doesn't have anything to do with the Rialto. It's bought by a nonprofit and it's owned by a nonprofit. One of the things that we did, Mr. Blancato, because we had the exact same concerns, that it was going to be developed into apartments before we had a chance to identify its arts potential, which is why we designated it as a redevelopment area, so nothing could happen on that property without the town providing permission to do so. That's, just to reiterate, that's the power of redevelopment law. And I'll just let Councilor Mackey, who's dealing with that, on that.
Good evening. I encourage everybody to follow the Center for Creativity at the Rialto's website. There's actually a very engaged, dedicated group of volunteers who have been working behind the scenes for almost 2 years to bring a plan to fruition. Unfortunately, right before the purchase of the Rialto, there was a massive flood that made it impossible to get into the building for a period of 6 months while the owners were dealing with supply chain. So their story is out there. They've explained, but they have been working with strategic planners. There are architectural renderings coming, and on the brink of a capital campaign to raise the funds. I think there is, this is probably one of the most unifying topics for the residents of this community to come together and make sure that the lights go on again. We were hosting some minor events, and because the building suffered so much neglect with leaks, it's in the process of being assessed and repaired. But please follow along, because they're going to need community support, and I'm very confident that everybody in this room and everybody listening at home is highly invested in making it happen, and I think everybody's going to be very excited when the plans come to light. So thank you for bringing that up.
Okay, so with that, we will move on to the Finance Policy Committee. Councilman Hapgood.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 22 resolutions tonight, 20 of which I'd like to move as a package. The first, a resolution to approve the cash management plan. The second, a resolution to approve the 2024 petty cash accounts. Third, a resolution to appoint public agency compliance officer. Fourth, a resolution designating the Westfield Leader and the Star Ledger as official newspapers of the town. 5, a resolution to appoint the Green Team consisting of the following members. And I did notice that a few of you are here tonight, so if you would raise your hand or stand, we'd like to recognize all of our volunteers. Stephen Aronson, Jeff Brick, Catherine Chowdhury, Aria De Leon, Katie Doyle, Peter Goldberg, Jay Goldring, Carrie Hansen, Amity Harster, Allison Froblack, Jessica Jacobson, Walter Korfmacher, Lois Kraus, Stephen McCabe, Amarish Mehta, Carolyn Noble, Skylar Quackenbush, David Siegler, Medea Valeri, Elizabeth Whitley, and Audrey Zavitz. Sixth is a resolution to appoint the Retail Advisory Board consisting of the following members. And again, please make yourself known if you're here, because I did see a few of you. Jeff Greenhouse, Darren Mast, Keisha Bradford, Will Goldberger, Drew Kellerman, Lou Kimball, Stephanie Mann, Ann Paccia, Megan Pisani, Julie Solana, Anthony Tessitore, Tina Torres, Deborah Valencia, David Vecca, and David Zukoff. Next, a resolution to appoint the Westfield Senior Advisory Council, which we call Lifelong Westfield, consisting of the following members. Brad Shinani, who is, good, Brad, thank you, co-chair. Deirdre Jeline, co-chair. Monica Bergen. Ava Contract, who's our high school liaison. Harvey Davidson. Kathy Dulon. Jerry Rothflesh. Curdy Malik. Michelle Martin. Emily Root. Bob Roth. Valentina Som. Pearl Weiner. And Audrey Zavitz. Now on to the rest of the resolutions. To appoint our auditor, Ninth is a resolution to appoint our town attorney. Our 10th resolution to obtain professional services from our town attorney. 11, a resolution to appoint our labor attorney. 12, a resolution to obtain professional services from our labor attorney's firm. 13, a resolution to appoint special affordable housing counsel. 14, a resolution to appoint bond counsel. 15, a resolution to appoint our redevelopment attorney. 16, a resolution to appoint our redevelopment planner. 17, a resolution to appoint redevelopment bond counsel. 18, a resolution to appoint redevelopment owner's representative. 19, a resolution to appoint health insurance consultant, broker services and risk management services. And 20, a resolution authorizing agreement with the Community Grants Planning Housing for Affordable Housing Administration.
May I have a second? Second by Councilman Contract. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, may I be heard?
That was you?
Yes,
Oh,
that was me.
sorry, yes, Councilman.
Thank you. I'll get used to
Wasn't sure
this.
which way it was coming from.
I'll get used to it, don't worry. Thank you. I'm opposed to resolutions 9 and 10, which are the resolutions to appoint Mr. Jardim as town attorney and his law firm. I believe that the town should not continue to retain Mr. Jardim as town attorney based on the way he gave his legal opinion that the residents of Westfield were not entitled to a non-binding referendum on the issue of the One Westfield Place project. By way of background, many residents, when the One Westfield Place project was being debated, wanted to have a non-binding referendum to voice their opinion on the matter. I was one of them. I came to town meetings and spoke out about why I thought it was allowed under the statutes, even though Mr. Jardim had concluded it wasn't. I spoke out about the controlling, or the applicable rather, New Jersey Supreme Court precedent and case law that made clear that a non-binding referendum is different than a binding referendum, which is not allowed under the zoning law. Mr. Jardim said he was crystal clear and insisted that the non-binding referendum was not allowed by law on redevelopment issues. I and others who were involved with the Residents for Westfield went to an independent, nonprofit legal organization that specializes or focuses on land use issues and asked them to consider the issue. They analyzed it and issued a legal memorandum and agreed that the issue was crystal clear, but in the opposite direction of Mr. Jardim. They concluded that a non-binding referendum was absolutely allowed under the statute and under controlling precedent. We provided this memorandum to Mr. Jardim, and he did not respond. So, by not even addressing the thorough analysis we provided him, I don't believe he discharged adequately his duties to the town of Westfield. And to be clear, his duties are to the entire town, not simply the mayor or select council members. It brings me no pleasure to do this, and I'm not trying to grandstand, but the right to be heard in a democracy is paramount. And this is actually something that New Jersey Supreme Court recognized when they ruled on the zoning law issue. And so I don't understand why he did what he did. I can only conclude that he was either careless or result-oriented, and either of which should disqualify him from representing our town any further. Thank you. I would also like to add that I have absolutely no opposition to the other resolutions that are bundled together here, Councilwoman Hapgood. So if you would present these resolutions 9 and 10 separately, I'd be happy to vote on them separately, so it doesn't affect my vote on the others. Thank you.
When you vote, you can actually just say abstain or no for those particular ones.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed?
Yes, opposed on 9 and 10.
This motion is carried.
Likewise.
Oh, I'm sorry.
9 and 10.
Okay,
Opposed, 9 and 10.
Likewise.
got it. So this motion is carried.
Next, I would like to move a resolution to approve the 2024 temporary budget.
May I have a second?
Second.
Done by Councilwoman Mackey. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Hopkins,
Yes.
Dardia,
Yes.
Domagala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Contract,
Yes.
Mackey, Mayor Rendell.
Yes, this motion has carried.
And I'd also like to move a resolution to approve the 2024 temporary swim pool utility budget.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Dardier. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmembers Hatfield,
Yes.
Dardian,
Yes.
Kamgala,
Yes.
Kiefer,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Contract,
Yes.
Mackey, Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion has carried.
And lastly, Mayor, I'd like to mention those that have been that will be the members of the Investment Advisory Council for this year, 2024. Incumbent members Drew Pecker and Mike Przinski, thank you for agreeing to continue on the IAC. And then we'd like to welcome Mia Morse, Marcella Wolf, Jason Blitz, Moet Desai, David Jacobson, and I'll act as the liaison to that committee.
So next is the Public Safety Transportation Parking Committee. Councilman Dardier.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 4 resolutions I would like to move as a package. Number 1, resolution to appoint fire official. Number 2, resolution to appoint on-call traffic consultant. 3, resolution to appoint redevelopment traffic consultant. And 4, resolution to appoint redevelopment parking consultant.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hopgood. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to bring up the 2, 3, and 4. We were informed of this yesterday. These consultants cost the town several $100,000. We have no vetting process, and while I trust Mr. Gilday and his expertise and his recommendations, if we're going to sign off on this as new council members, I think we should be afforded the ability to review the consultants, review their record, and ask questions. In any company, if you're going to hire somebody for hundreds of thousands of dollars, the people hiring should be allowed to have some input. And we received this information yesterday, and limited as it was, so I have no problem with the resolution to appoint the fire official, but I am concerned about the 2, 3, and 4.
Jim, do you want to address that process a little bit regarding in the redevelopment?
Sure. 2, 3, and 4. 2 is a little different than 3 and 4. So 2 is not a RFP, RFQ process because that vendor is well below the statutory required bid threshold. That's a vendor we've been using for many years. As a matter of fact, not even the vendor as much as the person. We've had a traffic consultant for many, many years who has changed firms over the years. We've actually followed the person, not the vendor, because he has great institutional knowledge of the town. That contract is $24,000, and that is a person that comes and attends our public safety committees on a regular basis, monthly basis, and advises the town on public safety issues from a legal perspective and also design perspective. When we do projects in town that have to be put in, this past year, for example, we did some parking cutouts and some crosswalk shortening and bump outs. Their firm designed it, so it met all the required specs. That's number 2.
And Jim, I'm sorry, how long has he been the traffic consultant approximately?
Probably about 10 plus years.
I only bring that up because he's been approved by bipartisan administrations in the past, so yeah.
That's correct. Numbers 3 and 4 are part of the redevelopment package of the previous resolutions you just approved as well. Redevelopment attorney, all those other things are all done through RFQ, RFP process. And again, these 2 consultants, the traffic consultant is WSP, which is a firm that's been working with the town for many years on the redevelopment project. But in addition to that, WSP was involved in a couple of different special projects here hired by the town on behalf of the state of New Jersey through grants. We have a vendor there, John Federico, who's been exceptionally great for the town. Institutional knowledge there has been unmatched. So I like to try to have consistency. There were 2 vendors that applied for the RFP in that case. And of course, the same with THA, parking consultants. They're working on redevelopment projects, but separately, they also work with the town on our parking system management and recommending changes to our system as a whole. Again, those are recommended for consistency, and there were 2 vendors. And again, they clearly are outmatched other vendors with their institutional knowledge of the town and their delivery of products to the town the past few years. So that's a little background on those 3 vendors.
Thank you.
Can I also jump in on the discussion?
Sure.
I would echo what Councilman Armento said on points 2, 3, and 4. For me, and I know we talked a bit about this, but our responsibility is fiscal oversight and responsibility. And when I looked at paying $300,000 to consultants, and it's not that they couldn't have been vetted, but the truth is, I didn't get to see any of the RFQs. I didn't see any of the submissions. I actually don't even know if their work was good last year, the last 5 years, the last 10 years. So I think it's irresponsible for me to vote for 2, 3, and 4 without knowing any information, just passing a bill for $300,000.
Mayor, if I can jump in, I think it's perfectly appropriate, Councilman, if you want to just abstain from this. There's an annual process that happens in municipal government that can't be changed. And it doesn't line up specifically with the, with the election process. But there definitely were several weeks, if there were particular things that you had concerns about, when any of us would have made ourselves available to answer questions that you might have had about what the budgets look like, what kind of consultants we were planning to hire for this year. These RFPs are public, and so all this information was available on the website. But I definitely understand that there's a lot of things that you're absorbing in a short period of time. And so if you would prefer not to vote on it tonight, then I think that's perfectly appropriate.
I totally understand that, and I appreciate that. I think putting the onus on us, saying that we could have reached out, I think maybe next time we could have been given the information in advance and said, we're going to vote on the RFQs. And hey, as a leader, we go into these meetings and we say, hey, we're going to vote on these RFQs. Just so you guys know, here's some information you might want to look up beforehand. That would have been the better way to approach it. But how can I look at this and say that we should vote for this without knowing any of that information?
Is there a potential for, excuse me, may I speak?
Sure.
All right. Is there potential for the next election for the persons that are potentially candidates or in the position to be elected or going to be the elected council person to be read in on these types of things? So not only do we voice this problem now, but going forward, can we make sure that we don't run into it again?
I can only say that since I've been elected, and whether they're Republicans or Democrats, when we were elected, no one has ever voted against any of these, even on the other side of the aisle. So I'm just saying in terms of appointments, and many of these, and it's fine, I agree, whatever you all want to do is completely fine, but I do think it's an important education process. I do think you could have also reached out to some of the departing councilmen or former councilpersons to ask specifically about some of these, but it's whatever you all want to do is completely fine, and your point's well taken. So
I think it's also important to, and you guys are going to learn this. Listen, we have really good town staff, right? And they do things by the book. I don't know if you read Mr. Gilday's email that addressed your concerns that came out, I believe, yesterday. But Jim fully explained the RFP and RFQ process for these consultants. I can particularly speak to number 2 because I was on the Public Safety Committee last year, as is former Councilman LaGrippo. Joe Fissinger knows this town backwards and forwards and knows the state laws and the state rules backwards and forwards. He probably saves us money and actually costs us money because he knows what he's doing. But at the end of the day, guys, we have to trust our town officials who you'll get to know and work with because they really have the town's best interests at heart. So I can understand your concerns about these consultants, but we followed a legitimate RFP and RFQ process, and that is the right way to do it. So you don't have to vote yes. That's why there's 9 of us up here, and it just takes 5 votes to move forward.
Okay. I think what we're appreciating here is that we're having a discussion about the process.
So just direct your comments to me, please.
I'm sorry, I apologize,
Yes,
Mayor. What I appreciate about it is that we are having this open discussion, that we are voicing our opinions on this. I don't think that we distrust anybody that works for the town. I think that what we're doing here is kind of airing things out and making sure that everybody is aware how the process works, that we understand it properly. If there's anything else.
That's not how it comes across.
That's not.
So I do think, and then we'll move to vote, I do think it's worth noting, ironically, is that when we came into office, there was no RFQ or RFP process. These people were just selected. And so, in sake of full transparency, we initiated that RFP process.
And for me, this is what I'm appreciating,
So
that there is a
that
process
had never been done before. And so, and the beauty of doing this annual RFP process, it just kind of keeps people on their toes and make sure no one gets complacent. And that's exactly why we do it, but it had never been done in the history of the town prior to that. So with that, let's just move this to a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed.
To just 2, 3, and 4, right, or all?
2, 3, and 4.
I'm sorry, do we want to go around and do this? Because we probably have all different, I don't want to keep talking over you, but abstain as the 3 and 4. Is it my turn, or how does this work?
Oh,
Is
that's
it-
fine. So
okay.
abstain,
Abstain as the 3 and 4, please. Thank you very much.
That's what.
Likewise.
Abstain.
abstain. Councilman Saunders, did you say?
I'm voting no to 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. So this motion is carried. Next is the Code Review and Town Property Committee, Councilman Contract.
Thanks, Mayor. I move a resolution to appoint the municipal housing liaison.
May I have a second? Second by Councilman Mackey. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes?
Yes.
Opposed?
Yes.
This motion is carried. Last is the Public Works Committee, Councilman Mackey.
Thank you, Mayor. I move a resolution to appoint a C3 sewer operator.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dardia. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. May I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Councilman Mackey, second.
Second?
Second by Councilman Dardia. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried and this board meeting is adjourned. Good night, everybody.
Good night.